no limitations is a limitation, in the sense that you're saying it's back to stage, and there's no breathers.
Yes, yeah.
So you think, oh, that's complete freedom, but with that comes as you say, not a cost, but an expectation, which I love. Yeah. And that's why having the physical fitness that you do is really, you've carried it, and it's carried you along. It's amazing.
The way we were taught, even back in the Strasbourg days.
I used to work for Strasbourg.
Oh, at the Actors Studio?
Yeah.
Oh, what a fortunate life.
I didn't mean that as a name dropping thing. I'm just saying.
So, you could drop that name anytime, bro.
Yeah.
It's all good. They taught you to act from toe to head. Your performance wasn't just here. It was from the top of your head down to the bottom of your two toes and 2 feet in diameter around you. So everything, every part of your body had to reflect the performance and the truth of the character. Now, with dropping the frames, necktie just above the waist, it makes a lot of actors extremely lazy. And they don't learn how to live the environment that the character is experiencing at the time of the scene. I'll give you an example. You will have people scene where 2 actors are in a car on a dirt road in the middle of the night in somewhere in Nebraska in the U.S. And they'll do the scene, they'll start the dialogue back and forth, but those of us who know what being on a dirt road in Nebraska is like, that there are flies, that there are bugs that go around, that fly around all the time. The difference I'm distinguishing here is now modern actors will play the scene. They'll do the dialogue, and then they'll say cut. But you never see them go, while they're talking, just kind of, while they're talking and having that type of conversation, right? Those little moments, in my opinion, reinforce the reality of the world that these characters are living in. And it adds more flavor to the performance. They don't know how to do this.
Agreed entirely. And I'll just say one last thing, not to get too in the weeds of this stuff, because you and I can chat all night about it. I was thinking of Ronald Brando, when he started to talk softly in smaller dosages, he helped acting, but in a way he corrupted it, because how many scenes have you seen at a bar where 2 actors are talking as if no one's in a room?
Exactly.
I want to see an actor, if you watch Nicholson in The Shining, he does this. There's a scene where there's a bar of people and he's ordering a drink like this, creating the illusion. The actor is the artist. And I'm telling you, before we get to our last question, if and I mean this, man, I'm not putting you on the spot or me, but if you want, once you get your training going, your action training, if you want me to run it, I will run it for you. Like, I am
that's
so inspired by it.
We'll make you a charter member of the Daywalker Clinic.
Awesome. I'm going to be.
Are there daywalkers in the audience? Are there daywalkers or night stalkers? Daywalkers?
I'd rather
you could be a daywalker.
Awesome.
Okay, so you could be down with the Daywalker Clinic.
Well, you're going to see Wesley about today. Be kind, be nice. But I had the privilege a couple of years ago. I spoke to Donnie Yen, a collaborator of yours. The Blade casts alone could do a comic convention. Norman Reedus, who you know, Ron Perlman, who you know, Donnie Yen. Blade 2 alone is a comic convention waiting to happen. And I asked him the following question. Dolph Lundgren I had last year here. I've asked the following question. I'm going to ask you. It's 2-part. Part 1. They say it's harder to fake fight than to real fight. A lot of martial artists who are in movies will say it's hard to pull a punch or to miss. It's easier to just kind of do it. Where do you fall down in that?
Absolutely, I agree. It's much harder to make it, to do it as for movies. A movie fight is much harder than a real fight, relatively speaking. Even in movie fights, you still get hit on occasions. And our style of action and the way I was trained as a martial artist, we actually touch each other. We train to take the blow or control the force of the blow. A lot of stunt people now, they don't like to touch, especially the Hollywood guys, which is different than the Chinese performers, the Indonesians, the ones coming out of Thailand, the Tony Jaa's of the world. They come from the martial arts world and they're comfortable with being physically touched. The Hollywood much, much harder to do a fight action scene as a real fighter. That's when it gets really dangerous, when you bring the real MMA guys in, or the real boxers, and they're programmed to actually touch you. Clearly that's not going to work.
Well, in Expendables 3, not to sidebar a little bit, and that was a different role because it was a lot of artillery and you played a knife expert. You had a mixture of MMA and trained actors. What was the physicality like there? You know,
With the Expendables?
yeah, I mean, it was a different breed, but
Oh yeah, it's all good. You know, the coolest thing about being down with the Expendables guys is that all of us have had films that have done very well, and all of us have had films that have been a piece of garbage, a piece of crap. So no one could, ish on each other. No one could walk into the stage or walk in the room, with their chest all high, and I'm the baddest one. Because you could point to that film was a piece of garbage, that film was a piece of garbage. It's like, well, you're right.
bring your IMDb when you go to set. The last question before we call it a day, and thank you, man. This was a pleasure.
It's my pleasure to be here.
It was a
It's a
pleasure.
pleasure to be around the up-and-coming great filmmakers that we'll be working with and working for.
Yeah. The last question, which is actually really more important, probably, I know you've been wanting to ask this. Would you punch me? Like, would you fake punch me?
No.
Can you show me?
I don't do that.
Can you show me? Donnie Yen punched me. Dolph Lundgren punched me. I've been punched by some of the greatest. Not real punch. Can you fake? Oh, yeah. Sorry, I should. This is a very important distinction. Can you show me the articulation, or how would the give and take be if you? I don't want to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you. I don't want you to hurt yourself. What would the articulation be if you had to? What would you expect of the receiver, of the partner? Just curious.
For the punch.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go this. We'll go this way.
Okay.
We're going to turn this way.
So
No,
you're. Okay.
That's exactly how it all starts. It goes wrong.
Cut to the emergency room. Wait, you said the other right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go this way?
Yes, you're just going to turn, but turn your head first.
Okay, not my body.
Don't turn your body like this.
Right.
No, turn your head like that, and then the body goes.
Oh, that's right.
But here's the other trick.
Yeah.
When you turn your head like this, and you still look
Okay.
with your eyes.
Right. Look
Right,
my
you're
eyes.
looking here, you're looking there, you're looking where you're gonna fall or where you might end up. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't go.
And you blindly throw your body into space. Yeah. Right. I won't do that.